All right, tubers, Madam Roy back once again. I hope you guys like that thumbnail. I couldn't think of what to do, so I just thought I'd point right to my head like, I guess I could have done a better job, but this is once again another live stream. I just realized it's been 10 days since my last live stream, so I guess I missed my 1 week mark. I've been trying to do at least one of these per week, but, you know, things happen. You get busy, you lose track of time, and for those of you that are younger than me, you'll learn that as you get older. Time just goes out really quickly, and before you know it, you've pretty much missed the boat. But that's not what this is about. This is going to be just a casual live stream, kind of get your questions answered. So it's going to be like a Q&A. I see Mark Covington is there. I'm doing just fine, Mark. Thank you. He loves to call me a superstar. I don't know about that, but I do the best that I possibly can. What I'm going to do is a little bit different this time. I'm going to answer the live questions, but when there's a lull in the questions or the comments, I have my little Kindle with me, and I'm going to answer some questions from previous YouTube videos. So hopefully we'll go ahead and keep you guys entertained for a while here. I'm going to start with a few questions that I just got from today's vlog, which was titled Dollar Tree Shopping and More. Toll Dude 123 said, funny how Dollar Trees all look the same inside no matter where you go. Products are much different in Canada, less selection, but the store layout looks the same. I didn't know you had the Galaxy S7 Edge. Yep, it is the S7 Edge. I've had mine since last year, and it's been doing okay, but the battery life isn't that great. Told you 123. I can tell you something you can try, because I was having the same problem with mine. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge comes with what they call a fast charger. Basically, I believe it's a 4 amp charger instead of a 2 amp charger. And it does work. It charges up really quickly, but unfortunately, it takes a toll on the battery, and there is a way around that. What I do personally is I actually keep my Galaxy S7 Edge plugged into the USB 3.0 port on my computer overnight. And I make sure by the end of the day, it's usually in like maybe the 10 to 20% battery life mark, and I let it charge slowly overnight, because that only puts out about maybe 1.5 amps. And by doing that, I've actually gotten more battery life from the internal battery of my cell phone. I'm not an expert in this, but from what I understand, the rapid charge actually what's the word I'm looking for? It degrades the battery over time. And if you do that enough, that's probably why your battery isn't holding a full charge anymore. But give that a try, and there's a chance you'll get at least some of your original battery life back in that phone. We have 10 watchers and 3 likes. Go ahead and click that like button if you like this. Help me out here, guys. Up, went back down to 9. See if we got anything else here. This is from the unboxing video I did on my Nikon D5500, the DSLR. Chris's Tech Channel wrote, I bet only 1/3 of the instruction book is in English and the rest is in other languages. You know what, Chris? Normally I would say you're right, but in that case, that book only came in 2 languages, English and Spanish, and it's split 50-50. The English first and the Spanish second, which is the way I like it. You know, even though I did learn Spanish when I was in middle school, I never really learned how to read it that well, so it'd probably take me a little bit longer to read the booklet if I tried doing it in the Spanish section. Really don't have anything else here right now to talk about. There really wasn't too many comments in the recently that I haven't answered, at least. Okay, here we go. Okay, this one is from Julian Butler. This was a comment he left on my Let's Go Thrift Store shopping vlog. He wrote, Good Lord, $80 for a non-refurbished and dusty desktop with an old Core 2 Duo. You can pay that price on eBay for one. It'll probably have twice the amount of RAM in it, and it'll be factory restored and not to mention refurbished. So glad you didn't waste your money on that, Matt. I would have probably it'll probably taken hours to clean it, the dust and the cat and dog hair out of the system. Yeah, that, believe it or not, that is a computer that was at one of the thrift stores in Virginia Beach, the Family Thrift Store, and that's still sitting there. No surprise, right? That was an old Gateway system, and they'll keep marking the price down. Eventually, it'll probably get down. Usually, they mark it down by half. So next, it'll probably be like $49.99 in 2 weeks. Another 2 weeks, it'll get down to like $29.99, which is probably when somebody will buy it. But that someone will not be me, because that system is just way too old. Can't do anything with those anymore. There we go. Mark Covington, hey Matt, I'm trying to help create a phone directory on my new Verizon ZTE cell phone flip phone, but I cannot figure out a way to create one on that particular phone. Do you have any ideas? Not if it's a flip phone. If it was an Android phone, I'd say you could just use, you could log into something like your Google Contacts, and it would automatically, every time you added it into the phone, it would actually create a contact in the phone, and then you could back it up to something like your Google account online. I'm not too familiar with that phone. The best advice I could give you is to just Google search a user guide for that phone and see what that says. But no, I'm not really well versed on the modern day flip phones, because they use their own proprietary software. Wow, okay, there's some comments here I missed. Barbara McNamara bought the Netgear power line. Seems to be working. Okay, good. I'm glad you actually got that working. I was a little concerned because I've had issues with those in the past. Basically, what that is where you get your internet through the power lines in your house. So it's basically, instead of wiring your house for something like Ethernet, you're just going to use the power lines. And years ago, when I used to work at Best Buy, we sold quite a few of those. Back then, there was a Netgear, there was a Linksys version, and they were hit and miss. It really just depended on the quality of basically the cables in your wall. If you had an older house, it wouldn't work that well. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that were buying these did have older houses, because they did. That's why they bought them, because they didn't want to have to wire their house with Ethernet cables. So I'm glad that's working for you. I was a little concerned about that. Mark Covington, is there a chance anyone at Best Buy might know on that cell phone flip phone as far as creating a phone directory goes? Yeah, you can give it a try. My local Best Buy, they're very knowledgeable when it comes to cell phones, a lot more than I am, because Alex, I'm a computer guy. I'm not really into cell phones. I mean, I know how to operate smartphones. I know the ins and outs of them, but I'm not an expert on them. Yeah, bring it up to Best Buy. They should be able to help you with that. Let's see what else we can get here. Here's a comment from John Giagu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right again. I apologize if I'm not. This is from the Random Sunday vlog from January 28th. He goes, "Congratulations on the weight loss, man. I'm telling you, you're going to become really big. You are going to become really big one day in channel subscribers, not weight." Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got a little discouraged the other day, because, as most of you probably know by now, when I hit the 280-pound mark, I treated myself to Olive Garden, and I knew I shouldn't have weighed myself, after that, but I did. I waited a day, and I weighed myself last night, and actually weighed myself at 281. So I really got to cut back, and that's what I'm doing right now. For dinner, I actually had a chicken salad sandwich on whole wheat bread with a few slices of tomato and some lettuce. And then for dessert, my mother actually made a fresh fruit salad with pineapple, peaches, fresh pineapple, canned peaches, it was fresh blueberries, and fresh grapes. And that's what I had for dinner. So I'm really cutting back today. Hopefully going to be under the 280-pound mark very shortly. But as I've stated before, you don't want to rush your weight loss. That's the biggest mistake that people make. And I look at stuff like The Biggest Loser and all these weight loss shows. They're all proponents of losing weight quickly, and 7 times out of 10, 70% of those contestants do not keep the weight off long term. And that's because they're not changing their lifestyle. They're just going back to their old eating habits, and that's what I'm trying not to do. So if you take anything away from that message, take this away. Do not rush your weight loss. You want to be diligent. You don't want to cheat a lot on your diet. But you don't want to become an extreme either. You don't want to cut everything out of your diet. You know, these people have these fad diets where they lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks just to fit into a dress, and they say, oh, you know what, that'll make me feel healthier. Might for a little while, but I can almost guarantee you're going to gain that weight back in the long term. Michael Laforte, hey Matt, hello to you. Shout out to Michael there. No more comments yet. Go ahead and start sending out your questions and comments. In the meantime, I'll try to answer a few more questions from these vlogs and these videos gone by here. All right. Ekner wrote, and this was in response to need to get out of the house. This was one of the last live streams I did. Wow, Matt. As a non-religious person, I am still happy that you are finding more inspiration, reasons to keep getting better. I think she meant to say. And thank you for being there for all of us. Best of luck. Thank you very much, and I really hope that I'm inspiring all you guys out there. I know I am. I have people telling me that every day they're trying to better themselves because of what I'm doing, and that's an added bonus for me. You know, first and foremost, let's be brutally honest. I'm doing this for myself. I want to get fit, get healthy, and be around here for a long time for my family, for all my friends out there. But as that added bonus, I'm going to help you guys out there as well. I'm not a nutrition, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, but I know what I know. I'm going to give you guys the benefit of my 34 years here on Earth, and hopefully you guys will continue to thrive as I have. Stephen Barber, hey Matt, I'm getting the HP Omen system to replace my old HP. I think it hates me. Maybe it's possessed. I kid you not. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Years ago when I worked on the Geek Squad at Best Buy, there was this woman that would come in. She was obviously disturbed mentally. And no matter who she came up to, she would always think that her computer was possessed. She would say, oh, the computer's watching me. I know I shouldn't be going to these certain websites, but I can't help it. It's guiding me. So it was just really funny. It was funny that you mentioned that. I just had to put that little tidbit out there. And then we had another person that would come in and swear that her ex-boyfriend was hacked into her computer and was watching her every move, watching what she typed, watching her through her webcam, which we assured her many times that was not happening because we ran scan after scan and there was no viruses, no spyware, no adware. But yeah, that's, I got to get off that subject because even now that still freaks me out, even 10 years later. Sam Hodgson, I wish we had affordable unlimited data plans here in the UK. It's interesting that there is such a contrast between here and the United States with wireless plans. It's very recent that we've had a lot of these quote-unquote unlimited plans. For many years, you had to pay for your data. Only in recent years, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint have introduced these unlimited plans. And in my case, my unlimited plan has some caveats. The worst of it being I'm capped at 3 megabits per second download speed. So I can just barely watch 1080p video, stream 1080p video on my cell phone. If I wanted to get an uncapped speed, in other words, whatever the full speed would be, it would be an additional $30 a month, and I can't afford that. So unfortunately, that is one of the issues I have with AT&T. That's why in the near future I'm considering switching to T-Mobile, because T-Mobile in our country has an unlimited plan for about the same price. Actually, it's a little bit less. I think it's to be about $10 less a month, and they don't have any limits like that. And I could actually migrate this Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge phone to there. But first I have to pay off my installments, and I think I owe, at last check, about $200 on the phone. So what I theoretically could do is just pay the $200, and that would clear my contract, and I could go ahead and move over to T-Mobile, and I think I'm going to do that in the near future. Excuse me. Very dry today. Stephen Barber wrote, basically said he loves T-Mobile and that he had Sprint and didn't like it. Yeah, a lot of people I've talked to do not like Sprint at all. A lot of people have had issues, mainly with two things: the service, the actual cell phone service, and the customer service you get when you actually call in. And to me, that's the two most important things. So if you don't have that, you don't have anything. Mark Covington, he wrote, the check engine light on my car stays on the whole time the car is running. The motor lightly shakes back and forth. Do you know anything that might cause this problem? The check engine light, it could be anything really, Mark. What I would suggest doing is bringing it somewhere like AutoZone or Advanced, because they'll run a free check on it for you. The shakiness could be down to it simply needing a tune-up, new spark plugs, new wires. I'm not a mechanic. I mean, this is just what I would do personally. I wish my dad was here. I can never get him to come into these live streams because a lot of you guys do ask me questions about cars, because you've seen the videos that I've done of the reviews of my dad's classic cars and, my vehicles, the truck. But I'm not a mechanic. I know enough to be dangerous when it comes to cars, really. NWS Storm Chaser, what's up, buddy? NWS Storm Chaser again. Joining Special Olympics, play basketball and stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for you guys that do the Olympics, the Special Olympics. I was not really a sports person when I was young. I don't really follow sports that much now, except for bowling, which some people don't even consider that a sport. I do. I did bowl on a league for quite a few years when I was younger. And that's something I really wouldn't mind doing again. And it wouldn't be that hard because our local bowling alley is literally a quarter of a mile from my house. So, you know what? That makes me think I'm going to start looking into doing that. Maybe when I lose another 10 or 12 pounds, I'll go ahead and start looking into getting back on a bowling league. Though I have to practice first because I'm sure my game has suffered over the years. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just reading another one. Mark Covington saying he just had a tune-up, and it just recently started doing it again. I don't honestly have any other ideas for you. Bring it to AutoZone, get it checked. They'll check it and tell you why the light's on, and then maybe just bring it to a trusted mechanic. Sam Hodgson, any good computer scores recently? Nothing really to speak of. I did find a 20-inch Acer monitor at the thrift store, one of the local thrift stores today. Nothing I haven't shown on my channel for in many years past. Did find one thing that was fairly interesting, and if you look at my vlog, you'll be able to see it. It's a PCI Express X1 Firewire card, and that's very unusual. They didn't make a lot of them. I'm not even sure if you can buy them new anymore. That one I might send to my buddy Tyler Johnson if he wants it. He actually, we Skype chatted last night for about 3 hours, and he expressed interest in using his mini DV camcorders again, but he was saying that he doesn't have a computer that supports Firewire, and this card will allow him to do that, because I believe the only Windows PC he has running now is his old Dell, and that one should have a PCI Express X1 slot in it. And believe it or not, Windows 10 does have the drivers natively for Firewire. Even though Windows 8 doesn't, Windows 10 does. Kind of odd, right? We got 18 watchers and only 8 likes. Come on, guys. If you like this video, click that thumbs up for me. I want to see those thumbs up, please. Don't make me beg. Victor Della Fuente, Matt Emroy, you inspired me to go out and exercise. Awesome, awesome. No, I'm sorry, this was Michael Laforte. What is your favorite local thrift store? I would absolutely have to say the CHKD that's by my house. Pretty much CHKDs in general. And then, real quick, for those of you that have never heard of them, in my area, that stands for the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters. It's a hospital, hospital in the area, but they actually have about 30 to 40 thrift stores throughout the entire region, and I usually find the best computer hauls there, and their prices tend to be very fair. That's actually the place I got that $30 Asus Core i7 tower. Love to find another one or two of those, but probably just holding my breath there. I don't think that's going to happen again. 20 watchers and 11 likes. Awesome, guys. Give me those thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Robert Jones says hello. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else's comments here. They were coming really fast here for a few minutes. Nope, I think that was it so far. So, oh, here we go. Mr. Jommy. I think you probably say that like Mr. Jimmy, but I'm just saying it the way your username is written. Hi Matt, is this video good? Is this video good for 140NZ Sapphire Pulse RX 550 2GB DDR5 graphics card? I get a gift card to a website for doing surveys and looking to get this for a budget build. The RX 550, yeah, from what I understand, is a very good card. The only issues I have with ATI cards are their drivers. They tend to have very unstable driver updates. I have the R7 360 in my main rig, and the card itself is great, but I have to be very careful when they give me a driver update, and they do about every 2 weeks. I actually wait till late at night to do the driver update and do a little bit of testing, and if it's unstable, I actually go ahead and immediately revert it back to the previous driver. But yeah, I mean, it's a good card for a budget build for sure. I don't see any problems going with something like that. All right. Randall Cheek, been sub to you for a long time. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Excellent, Randall. George Blakely III. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you were able to make it today. Hello, Matt. I get plenty of exercise from walking. I noticed that. I actually follow you on Facebook, and I saw that you were getting some exercise, and very, very good. I'm proud of everybody that's trying to make their lives better by losing weight. Ah, Michael Laforte, when is the $50 gift card giveaway? That's a very good question. I'm going to address that once again. Basically, when I get my YouTube earnings in this month, which should be at the end of this month, I'm going to take $50 from that and actually buy the gift card. So look for that gift card giveaway video coming sometime early March. And that is a promise to you guys. I know it's been a long time in coming, but it is coming. And it is going to be an Amazon gift card. I've kind of decided on that because everybody said they like Amazon. And let's face it, you can buy anything and everything through Amazon. Stephen Holdrick. Hi, Matt. Have you ever shopped for a 16mm projector when you go to the thrift stores? You know, I've seen them there. I've also seen the old 8mm projectors there, too. But I've never purchased them because I don't actually have any cameras that are camcorders that could take advantage of that. But yeah, they do have. Matter of fact, I think it's the Lifeline thrift store where I am. Had a couple of them in. I'm not sure if they work. They're probably going to need bulbs at this point because of the age. Robert Jones, Matt, have you tore down many laptops to do soldering? No. As a matter of fact, I've only taken apart maybe 3 or 4 laptops in my lifetime, fully taken them apart, and they are, for the most part, a bear to do. I actually have problems with my upper body motor skills, and it's just not easy for me, so I usually stick to desktops. When it comes to laptops, I'll do things like memory replacement, hard drive replacement, CPU replacement on occasion, but if it's anything more delicate than that, I just leave it to someone else. Stephen Barber, who isn't in love with Amazon? I know, right? LOL. Yeah, I like eBay myself. I actually use eBay more than Amazon, but I definitely use Amazon as well. I'm not actually a Prime member, though. I got to look into that. A lot of people say that's the way to go. Max O'Neill, I love Amazon, but giveaways are never in pounds. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. I mean, I'll send the card internationally if that's the case, but I don't know how you guys would be able to convert it. I'm going to look into that a little bit more as the date approaches near. Hopefully I hate to say hopefully the winner will be domestic, but don't worry about it. We'll figure something out. I'm not worried about it. We'll be able to figure that out. Nick Roberts. Nick, I'm going to read this, but I'm going to replace a few of the words in that, if you don't mind. Been watching your videos for years, Matt. Once you started walking to lose weight, I got me motivated to get off my fat patootie and get my fat patootie moving. That's awesome. I love that. I couldn't say the actual word, but you guys can imply it. That's awesome. I just love hearing that. 10 Tech. How much do the computers you normally take in from thrift stores take to get ready for customers? How long does it take? I can usually rebuild a system within about a day. It just depends on if I need parts. Usually I replace the hard drives, upgrade the memory, put in a new video card. So if I have all the parts on hand, about a day. If I have to order them, it could be as long as 2 or 3 days, but that's at most. It would take maybe 2 or 3 days. Up to 21 watchers and 17 likes. I believe this is the most watchers I've ever had on one live stream, so that is awesome. I'm going to make sure in the future that I give you guys a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Time to come to the live stream. I'll announce it maybe the day before. I'm not very good when it comes to organization, though, so no promises there. Michael Laforte, what time do you usually go on your walks? Morning. Almost all the time the morning, because as the day goes on, I get tired and I lose my motivation. Give you an idea of what my schedule usually looks like. I get up in the morning anywhere between 8 or 9 a.m., depending on when the cats bother me. I get up, check my social media feeds, get dressed, go down and have my breakfast. And by then it's usually about 10 a.m. I make sure I finish my first cup of coffee because I'm like a zombie before my first cup of coffee. I can't do anything without that first cup of coffee. And then usually around 10:30 to 11 a.m. I'll go out on my walk, sometimes alone, sometimes with mom, it depends, and walk anywhere between 3 to 5 miles depending on how much energy I have for the day. So very good question there, but yeah, usually in the morning times. The few times I walked in the afternoon, it did not end well. I was exhausted halfway through. Oh, Tyler. Oh, I'm glad, Tyler. I'm so glad you're able to come to this. Hey, Matt, thanks for chatting last night. Sorry I can't watch your live stream. I'm super busy removing snow. Talk to you again another time. Oh, yeah, he was telling me about that. They got like a couple of feet of snow. Hope your Bobcat's working well, by the way. Waving to one of my neighbors. If you heard that banging, he's they're trying to get exercise too. He's dribbling a basketball, walking down the street while his brother's walking the dog. That's pretty cool. I see these guys almost every night, so I didn't want to be rude, so that's why I wanted to wave real quick. WT, notice of the stream helpful for us overseas subscribers. Yeah, I totally get it. With the different time zones out there, it's hard for me to judge when and where everybody's going to be. That's why I like to do multiple streams. Because like the chances are, if I do them at different times of the day, everybody will get a chance to attend at least one or two of these. Victor Della Forte, what is one of the best deals from your local thrift store? And steals is the word he's talking about. Definitely that Asus Core i7 system. I wish I still had that. I owned that computer for about 6 months, and I sold it to get that iMac, which was a total disaster. But yeah, that is without a doubt the best system I ever got from a thrift store. Core i7, that was a 4770. 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drive for $30. I'll probably never see anything like that again. Mark Covington, what program do you use for editing your videos? Windows Movie Maker. Always use Windows Movie Maker. It's fast, easy, and it doesn't confuse the living daylights out of me. Max O'Neill, the UK is useless for finding old desktops at reasonable prices. You are not the first person to tell me that. I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but quite a few of my subscribers in the UK have said that it's slim pickings at the charity shops over there. I think you guys call them charity shops for the most part, right? Not thrift stores. Here it's thrift stores. Eric Brunhammer's here. Awesome. Finally made it. Had a problem with the cash drawer at work. Uh-oh, hope it wasn't serious. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Hopefully, okay. I don't know why my my little charger here for some reason keeps saying that there's moisture in it. So we'll have to make do. I still have about 50% battery life on the phone. I charged it before I started this thing. Robert Jones, Matt, i5 and i7s are dry here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I've learned what to look for from your videos. Awesome. Yep. The best thing I can tell you to do is just keep your eyes open. Ask around. If you're looking for computers to refurbish, chances are a local business is going to be upgrading their systems, and they may want to get rid of them fairly cheaply. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my computers in the past. You know, just keep your eyes open, and you know, they'll find you eventually, believe it or not. Sam Hodgin, car boot sales are the only chance in my experience here in the UK. Yeah, I used to find some items at those. Here in the States, it's so funny. There's so many different names there. Garage sales, yard sales, tag sales. Up at near where my uncle lives in upstate New York, they call them barn sales because everybody's got a barn. But yeah. Yeah, you definitely can find some good deals. Around here, the garage sales don't start up until about March or April. So a few more months till those will come back in vogue. But yes, I will be doing, before anybody asks, I will be doing garage sale haul videos when that happens. Okay, one more from Mark real quick, and then I gotta move on. Will a JVC Handycam, which takes an SD memory card, work for making YouTube videos? It just depends on the camcorder. If it's an older one, probably not. I'm assuming it probably also uses something like a mini DV or maybe like a digital 8 tape. Your best bet is just to buy like a cheap camcorder from the store. I mean, you can get Sony Handycams at Best Buy for like $150, $200. I mean, they won't do 4K video, but they'll be good enough to get started for just making simple YouTube videos. What in the world is going on here? Oh, I thought one of my neighbors were fighting with each other, and that does happen around here. Unfortunately, we do not always get along. Our neighbors do not get along around here. That's kind of sad in a way. Max O'Neill, I had an old charity shop that sadly closed, but you could get decent 19-inch 4x3 monitors for £5. So that's not a bad deal at all. Around here, most thrift stores will charge you $10 or $15 for that. Elizabeth Laforte, I miss Mom. Tell her she should start her own vlog channel. Oh, well, thank you very much. As much as I love my mother, she is not into social media except maybe for Facebook once in a while. I can hardly ever get her involved in vlogs, but I will try in the near future. Maybe another cooking video. Just right now with us all being on this diet and this lifestyle change, there really isn't a lot of cooking that I like to do. But it kind of gave me an idea. I'd like to do a video and show everybody out there what types of foods you can eat and do well on your diet. So that'll definitely be a video in the near future. Fingers crossed. Sam Hodgson, a business idea of mine is to collect computers from offices and schools, etc., for free and then refurbish them. It's surprising what systems some establishments throw away. That's not a bad idea at all. It depends on your area. Around here, all the government entities, the offices, the schools, when they need to get rid of computers, they actually send them to an auction house, and it's part of each city's what do they call them, surplus warehouse, and they actually auction them off online, which is something that I'm trying to do now. But honestly, a lot of times the computers go for a lot more than I'd be willing to pay. I'll give you an example. I was looking at some systems that were available in Northern Virginia. They were Dell Optiplex 780s, 790s, and 710s. So a mixture of Core 2 Duos, Core i3s, and Core i5s. I think it was like a total of 60 systems, which was really nice. But they wound up going for something like $2,000 or $3,000, and I'm not willing to do that, because whenever you buy computers that way, you got to remember there's always a 10% buyer's premium. You have to pay sales tax, and you also have to pay to either have them shipped to you or you have to go up and collect them. And chances are at least 20 or 30% of those computers are going to be scrap. In other words, they'll be part systems at best. So to make that worth my while, the computers have to go for considerably less than I've been seeing them go for lately. Victor De La Fuente, what got you into collecting computers, cameras, etc.? I've been an electronics and computer fan all my life, ever since I was young. When we lived in New York back in the day, we had a recycling center, and one of the gentlemen that started it had a great idea to set up a table right next to where you would recycle your bottles, your cans, and etc. And what they would do is people would bring items that they didn't want anymore, put them on that table, and you could take them back. You could take them away. Someone else could take them. And I used to spend hours there waiting to see what people would bring. And I remember I used to get computers there. I used to get TVs, VCRs. And ever since then, I was hooked on getting electronics. And a simple hobby became a lifelong passion. And to be perfectly honest, for full disclosure purposes, there's a point where I was actually becoming a hoarder, and I actually put a stop to that real quick. Actually, my mother back in the day put a stop to that because she saw that hoarding mentality in me, and I actually got help for that, and luckily it hasn't come back. And it's in our genes because my grandfather was what we called the local trash man. He was definitely a hoarder as well. James King from New Zealand says that he gets free PCs all the time on Facebook, mostly Core 2 Duos or older. Yeah, most Core 2 Duos are still viable systems for most people, for the basic user. I even know a few people that are still editing YouTube videos on Core 2 Duos. You can do it, but it's really, really slow. All right, 24 watchers and 32 likes. Thank you guys so much. This is definitely I'm almost positive is the most watchers I've ever had in one live stream. Sam Hodgson wrote, I have been subscribed to you for many years, and you've really helped increase my knowledge of computer hardware. Well, I do the best I can. I'm by no means the best expert out there. I'm good when it comes to hardware. I really would love to start learning more about computer programming. I never really got into that. I can program a little bit in BASIC, a little bit in C++, but that is about it. But yeah, any hardware questions, I'm your guy. Oh my goodness, I'm missing so many questions here. You guys, I'll try to if I miss your question, I'll try to answer it later in post-production. Max O'Neill, how are you finding new cameras? Thrift stores, Craigslist, pretty much everywhere around here I can find cameras, but I'm having to kind of put a halt on that because I'm running out of storage space. Josh, how's the new camera? I'm sure you're referring to the DSLR, the Nikon D5500. It's good. To be brutally honest, I've only used it a couple of times. I've been very busy this past week and haven't really had a chance to use it. I have a couple of videos coming up in the near future. One is an urban exploration video that I am definitely going to be using that camera for. So you guys will get a first-hand shot of the quality of that once I actually release that video. Okay, this is a good one. Max O'Neill, what is your favorite retro game? My absolute favorite retro game, without a doubt, is Wolfenstein 3D for DOS. Came out in 1992, and to this day is still my favorite. It's a first-person shooter. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have heard of it before. They've made many sequels to it, but I like the original, and I actually still have that installed on my Dell XPS D233, my DOS gaming rig. But there are a lot of good ones out there. I like the old Commander Keen series. There's another one called Hocus Pocus, where you're like a little magician and you go around collecting gems and casting these little spells. Let's see what else do I like. I love pretty much all Ms. Pac-Man or Pac-Man clones, and one of my favorites for the PC is one called Ms. Pac PC that came out for DOS in 1995. Almost identical to the Ms. Pac-Man arcade game from the early 80s. It's getting a little steamy in here. I'm going to open this window. Very, very humid out today. Michael Gardner, I found a Dell Dimension L1000R, so I believe that's a Pentium 3 system that someone threw out. It had an NVIDIA GeForce 4 MX440 SE in it. That's a good system, and that's an even better graphics card. The GeForce 4 series back in the day was the go-to graphics card for pretty much all gaming. Eric Brunhammer, I used to go to the dump and end up bringing back more than I came in with. Yeah, I know how that feels. But now the dump doesn't allow us to take electronics. That's really sad. I mean, you would think it would behoove them to let you take them, taking the word from TV. Basically because, it costs them money to dispose of a lot of the computer equipment, especially. Years ago when I went up to my aunt's place, we don't have a dump like that around here, but she lived in a little town called Wellsville, New York. And they had a dump there that we had to go to, and we had just drop off some of her trash because the town is so small they don't have trash pickup. You actually have to go to the dump to drop off your refuse. And I went there, and my aunt said, "Hey, Matt, go walk behind the building. There's a shipping container full of electronics that people bring, and go see if you can find something." So I did. You're not really supposed to take it there either, but I snuck behind there when nobody was looking, and they had a lot of like old CRT TVs. They had a couple flat screens, but they were all broken. But I came out with a Gateway Essential I think it was an E4500 series Pentium 3. 666 megahertz tower, and I still have that sitting in my room right now. That's my Windows 98 system, and that thing is perfect. It still has the original hard drive memory in it. It came from school because when I booted it up, it had all the information still in it. They never bothered wiping that hard drive. So there are still some good finds to get at the local dumps, once again, if they'll allow you to do that. Yep, Max O'Neill. It's because people don't wipe their hard drives. I have tried to tell people about data security for years, and it just falls on deaf ears, unfortunately. Ekner, hey Matt, glad to catch a live stream. Hope you're doing good. We are all doing very well. Mom and Dad are inside right now, kind of relaxing. Mom decided to exercise today. She was going to take a rest day, but you know what? She said she felt up to it, so we did independently. I actually went and walked the path alone today. I didn't get down to the bench. I got to the vents, and I'll get close to 20,000 today. I only got 18,000 yesterday, mainly because I was on with Tyler for 3 hours, but I'll get to 20,000 today, one way or another. Let's see. Victor De La Fuente, what is your favorite computer that you have? Oh, gosh, that is so hard. Well, I'd say my favorite computer right now is still my Dell XPS 8700, my Core i7 system that is my main rig that I edit all my videos on. It's been solidly reliable the 3 years that I've had, and I'm hoping to have it another 3 years. If not, another Dell will definitely be in my future. Ekner, I exercised the other day too. You inspire me to it a little, honestly. I just walked around for an hour and also lifted a small boulder I found on the field. Excellent. You got to start slowly when it comes to exercise. When I first started this lifestyle change, as we like to call it, I was only walking a mile. Actually, it wasn't even a mile. It was 3/4 of a mile. Then I built up to 1.5 miles. Then 2 miles, then 2.5 miles, then 3 miles, and now I can do 4 or 5 miles all at once. So build yourself up incrementally because you don't want to wear your body out. If you try to do too much too quickly, you're going to wind up injuring yourself and you won't be able to exercise at all. So that's the way to go. Low and slow win the race, or steady and slow win the race, something like that. Reviews for noobs. I like that. I like that username. Got a bunch of laptops the other day for free. Some missing parts, and it's where let me see it's where in parts one was a nice i3 missing the hard drive, but it did boot to the BIOS. When you put the hard drive in and the boot disk to install Windows, that's awesome for an i3. You might, I don't know if it has the hard drive cat, you just throw in another hard drive and you got yourself a really nice system. Any i series to me is a good computer. Laptop, desktop, what have you. Gives me a white screen and laptop turns off. Do you know why? Could be. Sounds like it could be a video card problem, but you'll have to get that diagnosed. Not exactly sure. Oh, you got to read this. Robert Jones, Matt, I hear that CDs are on their way out and being replaced by records. You know what? I've heard the same rumor myself, and I believe it's true because when I go into my local Best Buy, the CD section, the little that's left, used to be a whole aisle. Now it's only a few shelves. They're all on clearance, and they are literally replacing the shelves that used to have CDs with records again. Everybody's going back to vinyl. That's all part of this analog retro kick that's happening right now. And you know what? It's awesome. I love analog audio. I love cassettes. I love records. I love laser discs, which, believe it or not, do qualify because Laserdisc, even though they do have digital audio, it's still analog video. But it's amazing. Everything that's old is new again. It truly is. All right, we're 50 minutes in, 27 watchers and 34 likes. This is totally awesome. I am so glad you guys were able to come here. Probably going to have to end this shortly because, as you can see in the back, the sun is setting and I'm having some issues with lighting. I actually have all of my dome lights on right now, which I don't mind doing because they're all LED in this van, so it won't run the battery down, but I can see it's getting a little grainy at this point. So we'll give it a few more minutes and take a few more questions. Ekner, Matt, do you like shortwave radio? I used to listen to shortwave radio when we were in New York, but we really don't get that many stations around here. I'll tell you one thing I'd love to get is one of those old Zenith, I think they were called like land radios, the ones the ones that would get all the different reception, all the shortwave bands from around the world. I'll tell you, if I ever come across one of those, I'd definitely become a shortwave buff again. Michael Laforte, is Baxter doing okay with his allergies? Yes, thank you for asking about that. It was only for a couple of days, and it seems to happen when the weather gets warmer like it has been today. I notice he gets some discharge in his eyes. Basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting him back on the treats and making sure that he eats a little bit more wet food. That seems to be helping mitigate his allergy problem. But yeah, he's perfectly fine. He's a trooper, that cat. My floor mat's going crazy right now. Sonic Wang wrote, yesterday in the gutter, somebody dumped some rubbish. I found a Dell Mini netbook. 2 gigabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM worked fine other than the A button not working, and he put on Puppy Linux. I'm a little confused there. Is it 2 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of RAM? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's a good find, though. I mean, Dell Mini for free. I'd take it, and Puppy Linux is a good version. I've used that in the past, but I when it comes to Linux, I still like Ubuntu or Lubuntu, the light version. All right, I'm going to do one more question here, and then we're going to have to end this because it's really getting dark here, and I need to go in and get ready for a person that's coming over. Eric Brunhammer, I'm still waiting to hear what the diagnosis is for Rotella. Yeah, I want to ask you guys out there to pray for Eric's cat. She's having some issues. They're not sure. I think you said it may have been like an issue with the kidney or something. But please pray for all those you out there that are Christians that do pray. I know how hard it is when a family member is sick. And believe it or not, pets, cats, dogs are family members. So yes, please pray for Eric's cat out there. I have been praying for her pretty much every night, and she's such a sweet cat. I've never met her in person, but I've seen your videos, and she's always so friendly. Okay, I got to do this one. Elizabeth Laforte, our little one is watching the stream with us. Yell. Okay, here we go. Sean, get that tooth out. Nothing like some public embarrassment to get motivation rolling in loose tooth removal. Okay, do it one more time. Sean, get that tooth out. I hope that worked. I hope I didn't scare him. I know, my voice gets scary sometimes. Yeah, I had to reinitialize that. Come on, guys, let's make it to 40 likes. Reviews for noobs. Well, thank you. I think we're going to get there. All right, that'll be it. Once we get to 40 likes, I'm going to end this live stream. So if you don't want it to end, don't hit that like button. If you want it to end, hit that like button. Max O'Neill, both my old cats died from kidney failure. I've had 2 cats myself die from kidney failure, my cat Oliver and my cat Simon, and it is a distinct possibility that LT also passed away from that as well, though she was not diagnosed. My other 2 orange cats were, and it's very common in orange male cats to have kidney problems. Simon was 14 or 15, and Oliver was only 10. I felt so bad. He was such a sweet cat. He was a Maine Coon, a half Maine Coon cat. Very friendly, but unfortunately he did ultimately succumb to the kidney failure. Sonic Wang, my cat died of AIDS. I have 3 cats now and 2 kittens. Oh, make sure, if they were together, make sure you get those other cats tested, because there is a chance they could have given him that disease. I did have a cat that passed away from AIDS. He was a tomcat, and we literally, oddly enough, we called him Tomcat because he looked like a tomcat. He had the chewed up ears. He had, the typical signs of a cat that led a hard life, and we had him for 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, he did succumb in the end to feline AIDS. Mark Covington, Eckner, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my channel as well. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys like Mark Covington's videos, check him out. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. He's into similar things that, like I am, vintage cassettes, analog media as well. Victor wrote again, what is your favorite cassette? Well, my favorite brand of cassette in the past has always been TDK. I know I actually like the TDK D90s, the Type 1 cassettes. If we're talking chrome tapes, I'd have to go Maxell XL2s. The ones from the mid 80s to early 90s were the best ones out there. Some of the late 70s, early 80s ones were good too, but they had real problems. Stephen Barber, did TDK go out of business? They used to make CDs and DVDs. I used to buy them all. They were my favorite brand. I don't think so. I'm not exactly sure, because I buy all my cassettes at the thrift stores, and I still find tons of used TDK cassettes. That's something you may want to look at. Do me a favor, look that up online and leave a comment later in the video. I don't know why this keeps going out. I got to turn the key on. Hopefully that'll prevent the dome lights from going out. All right, tubers, I am going to end it here because I'm about ready to lose my voice. We ultimately got up at one point to 26 watchers. Now we're at 24 watchers, 38 likes. Hope you guys are really enjoying these live streams. My voice is about to give out. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.